Good morning, students. This is chapter 5, the fundamental unit of life in your science subject. This is part 1 of chapter 5, and in this part 1, we will learn about the cell, the fundamental and structural unit of life. So, let me start here with the first topic is what are living organisms made up of? No matter whether the living organism is plant or animal, everything is made up of the cell. The cell is the functional and structural unit of life. So in this chapter, we will learn about the cell, its structure, its function, and its organelles. So let me start one by one. In the starting, let me tell you, while examining a thin slice of cork, Robert Hooke saw that the cork resembled the structure of a honeycomb, consisting of many little compartments. What is cork? Cork is a substance that comes from the bark of a tree, and it was year 1665 when Hooke made this by chance observation through a self-designed microscope. Robert Hooke called these boxes cells. Cell is a Latin word. The meaning of this word is a little room. This may seem to be a very small and insignificant incident, but it is very important in the history of science. This was the very first time that someone had observed that living things appear to consist of separate units. The use of word cell to describe these units is being used till this day in the biology. स्टार्टिंग में रॉबर्ट हुक ने जो सेल वर्ड डिफाइन किया, आज भी हम सेल वर्ड ही यूज करते हैं. दिस इज रॉबर्ट हुक and this was the honeycomb structure of the cork he noticed. What are living things made up of? Living things are made up of cell. This can be proved by doing a simple activity, and this is the activity stepwise. It is explained over here. One by one I will explain all the steps. In this activity, the first we are supposed to take an onion, and you can peel off the skin of the onion from the concave side. अंदर की तरफ से onion को छील लीजिए. This layer can be put immediately in a watch glass containing water. This will prevent the peel from getting folded or getting dry. What will you do with this peel? अब क्या करेंगे इस छिलके के साथ? Now do one thing. Take a glass slide, put a drop of water on it and transfer a small piece of the peel from the watch glass to the slide. Onion को कट कर लीजिए. उसका जो कॉनकेव साइड का पीस है उसको निकाल लीजिए. जो उसका प्लास्टिक जैसा रेपर है सेपरेट कर दीजिए, और जो स्किन है वो आप निकाल कर कहाँ रखेंगे? अंदर का लेयर, जिसे हम एपिडर्मिस में बोलेंगे, उसको पील्ड ऑफ कीजिए. And then place it on the slide covered with 2-3 drops of distilled water. और उसके बाद धीरे धीरे कवर स्लिप को नीचे लाइए. A drop of a stain is put at one end of the slide so that we can see the structure clearly under microscope. Now stain is drawn over the specimen using a small piece of filter paper. Now when you will put this slide under the microscope, what will you observe? Let me show you the structure we will see under the microscope. This will be the structure, and if you focus the microscope clearly, we will see this type of structure. And what is this? This is the cell. This type of structure. Okay? See, if I take a small portion of that structure, so it looks like that. What is that? This we observe under microscope, And what does it look like? You can see here the small portions, and these all portions are same, and this dot structure is nucleus, and this portion is one cell of onion. The structures look similar to each other, and together they form a big structure like an onion bulb. By this activity, we find that onion bulb of different sizes have similar small structure visible under a microscope. The cell of the onion peel will all look the same, regardless of the size of the onion they came from. Onion छोटा हो या बड़ा हो, round हो, bulging हो या कोई भी shape हो, उसके cell same होते हैं. And these small structure that we see are the basic buildings unit of onion bulb, and these structures are called cells. Not only onion, but all the organisms that we observe around are made up of cells. कोई भी living organism cell से ही बना होता है, plant हो या animal हो. However, there are single cells that live on their own as a whole organism. एक single cell भी एक पूरे organism की तरह behave करता है. Amoeba, example of single cell organism. Amoeba, Chlamydomonas, that is a type of green algae, Paramecium, bacteria, and these organisms are called unicellular organism. Uni means single. तो single cell organism जो एक whole organism की तरह behave करते हैं, they are known as unicellular organism. On the other hand, many cell groups together in a single body and assume different functions in it to form various body parts, and they are known as multicellular organism. Examples are fungi, plants, and animals. Every multicellular organism has come from a single cell. How? Cell divide and they produce new cells of their own kind. So always remember that all the cells come from pre-existing cell only. So now you know there are two types of organism. One is unicellular and another one is multicellular. Unicellular are the organisms that are made up of only one cell, and multicellular are the organisms that are made up of more than one cell. Example of unicellular organisms: amoeba, some bacteria. An example of multicellular organisms: plant, animals, human being, they are multicellular. Here one very important information is given at page number 58 in your book that I have taken. The write-up I have taken from your textbook only. So let me read it out for you. In the starting, as you know, in 1665, Robert Hooke discovered the cell at first. He observed the cell in a cork slice with the help of a primitive microscope. जो microscope इतना developed नहीं था. In 1674, almost after 10 years, Leeuwenhoek, with the improved microscope, discovered the free living cells in pond water for the first time. And then in 1831, it was Robert Brown who discovered the nucleus in the cell. Remember these points? Robert Brown was the first person who discovered the nucleus in the cell. In 1839, Purkinje, he coined the term protoplasm for the fluid substance in the cell. The cell theory that all the plants and animals are composed of cells and that the cell is the basic unit of life was presented by two biologists, Schlindon and Schoen. And the cell theory was further expanded by Virchow in 1855 by suggesting that all the cells arise from pre-existing cells. And with the discovery of electron microscope in 1940, it was possible to observe and understand the complex structure of the cell and its various organelles. So this is the total history of cell, discovery of cell and study of cell. Very important, so many 1 marks question, MCQ question can be asked from this paragraph. He is Leeuwenhoek and this is his microscope at that time. In 1674 he used this microscope for his study. And he is Robert Brown, Perkinje, and these two scientists, Skidden and Squan. At the end, one very important scientist, Virchow. His name is over here. I will show you the picture of Virchow and I will tell you about the work he did. He is Rudolf Virchow and he is known as the father of modern pathology. He said that all the cells arise from pre-existing cell. So this was very important statement made by him. Some organisms can also have cells of different kinds. It is not necessary that all the cells should be same. The shape and the size of the cells are related to the specific function they perform. And some cells, like amoeba, they continuously change their shapes. So that is very important when you are learning about cells to know all these important points. See, this is amoeba and you can see how amoeba is continuously changing its shape. That is a unicellular organism and it is continuously changing its shape. In some cases, the cell shape could be more or less fixed and peculiar for a particular type of cell. The best example of this is nerve cell. Very typical shape it is having. Let me show you. These are some human body cells and this is nerve cell. You can see the shape and size and the design of the nerve cell is very typical and very peculiar. This is red blood cell, that is white blood cell, that is bone cell, ovum, sperm cell, and that is the cell that is found in the inner lining of the intestine. So after looking at all these diagrams, you can say the shape and size of the cells are different and that depends on the functions they perform. Each living cell has the capacity to perform certain basic functions and that are the characteristics of all living forms. How does a living cell perform these basic functions? We know that there is a division of labor in multicellular organism. Division of labor means particular work is decided to do by particular organ. For example, in human beings, it means the different parts of the human body perform different functions. For example, in human body, human heart is there to pump blood and stomach is there to digest food. तो स्टोमक कभी भी ब्लड पंप नहीं करेगा और ह्यूमन हार्ट कभी भी फूड डाइजेस्ट नहीं करेगा. So it is clear now that living cells has the capacity to perform certain basic functions and that is the characteristic of all living forms. A division of labor in the multicellular organism is very important. And what is division of labor? I told you that it is decided that which part of human body or plant body will perform which function. Similarly, division of labor is also seen with a single cell. In fact, each such cell has got certain specific component within it known as cell organelle. Cell के अंदर के part. Each kind of cell organelle perform a special function, such as making new material in the cell, clearing up the waste material. These are the work or these are the functions performed by cell organelle. A cell is able to live and perform all its functions because of these organelles only. These organelles together constitute the basic unit, and that is called the cell. It is very interesting to know that all the cells are found to have same organelles, no matter what their function is or what organism they are found in. सेल ऑर्गेनल्स सेम होती हैं, चाहे उनका शेप कुछ भी हो और चाहे वो किसी भी बॉडी के अंदर हो. In this session, this primary information about the cell is been given, and here you find two questions at page 59 in your textbook. I have given the answers of both the question. You can write these answers in your fair book. With this question and answer, there is a homework for you. In your science fair book, you are supposed to draw neat diagrams of nerve cell, bone cell, and cells of onion peel. All these three diagrams are there in this presentation also, and in your textbook also you will find these diagrams. So thank you, students. In this part 1, I explained some primary information about the cell. I hope you understood it. If you did not, you can go through the presentation again and again, and we will meet in part 2 of chapter 5, the fundamental unit of life. Thank you.